right, welcome to another episode of Poncha Talk. My name is Ellie. I'm host of Poncha Talk, and in this podcast, we talk about digital nomad life, remote work, and really all topics related to building a flexible lifestyle for yourself and pursuing your passion, so that hopefully I can inspire one or two of you to do the same. And today, I'm excited to be back for another solo episode. We've done a lot of interviews in the past couple of weeks, but there has been a major change in my personal life. So today I wanted to take some time to talk to you about that because I am now officially a resident of Portugal. And this is the first time in my life that I'm not registered in Germany anymore. So it feels a bit strange and definitely like a quite significant change. So I wanted to talk to you about the process of going through it, the lessons learned, as well as some challenges, personal challenges that came with it, so that, if any of you are thinking of uprooting your life and moving somewhere else, abroad or within your country even, or any other life changes that are coming up, maybe this helps you in some way, or, even if not, maybe you can just get a nice story and some laughs from my fuck-ups about it. Anyways, let's dive into it. So yes, you heard that correctly. I am now a resident of Portugal. I obviously registered here on Madeira. And it is quite a big change, I have to say. I didn't really think it would be because I've been moving around so much in the last couple of years. Or really like ever since I finished school, I've just been moving around. But something about this time officially giving up my residence in Germany feels a bit weird to me still, which this was just last week, so it's still very fresh and I'm still working through a lot of the paperwork, but yeah, it's just wanted to take some time to talk about and kind of explore why I made this move, the challenges and some of the doubts that obviously came with it, but more importantly, of course, also the opportunities that it's brought to me, or the opportunities that I'm hoping that will come out of this, let's say. Because lesson number one is any big decision in your life, I think it's normal that it feels a bit uncertain in a way, but maybe it's not, but for me it felt quite uncertain. But I think as long as you follow your gut and follow your intuition, sometimes that's the most important part in order for you to move forward. But yeah, let's get into the details. Why did I move to Portugal? Why did I move to Madeira? So I think the move was both. It was like a move away from Germany as well as a move to Madeira. So it's been like a push and pull, both at the same time, because Germany, it just, like I think I've said this before in previous episodes, it's not the right place for me. And that's not just because the winters are just absolutely horrible and I get seasonal depression when I don't get to see the sun for 3 months. And like the weather is one part that, of course, is a nice benefit here in Madeira, but it's also more so the way of life in Germany. I didn't quite fit in. I think I've said this before. It's like Germany, the mindset is very traditional, structured, very security focused. Like when I tell people in Germany that I quit my job without having another job, you get a lot of confused looks. So I feel like for myself, I've just always craved a bit more freedom, flexibility, and just like a way of living in the moment in my life. So maybe I realized Germany is not the place for me. And it's not like I didn't try. Like the plan was to be self-employed in Germany now, after I quit my job. But even then, when I was going through like all the preparation and the business plan and funding and whatnot, there are so many regulations in Germany, and it's just like all really strange processes to me that just like keep showing me how specific Germany is in its ways, and it didn't align with my way of thinking. Either my way of thinking just doesn't make any sense, but I think it's more so because I have been traveling so much in the last couple of years. And I have lived abroad for so long, that's just like broadened my horizon in so many ways through the people I meet, through the cultures that I got to experience. So it just makes it a lot more difficult for me to connect to the German culture and to not the culture, but the way of living and thinking. So that was one part where I just like, I always had this nudge that Germany is not quite the place for me. But there are 100 countries, more than 100 countries, I think, in the world. And Madeira came on my map not even a year ago. February last year was the first time I visited Madeira. But something about this little lovely island, it's just like, it gave me a feeling of like relax, freedom, and peace, most of all. And it was just kind of exactly what I was searching for, I think. Because, well, obviously the weather is beautiful, the nature is beautiful. I could talk about that all day. We've also been talking about the lovely community here in a lot of episodes, and it's just like I've met so many inspiring people the times that I have been here on Madeira, and that has helped me a lot throughout the last year. Every time I visited here on Madeira, this like community and support and just like peace that this island has for me has helped me through a lot of like personal struggles and mental as well as health issues that I've been going through in the last year. So it just became like my personal safe space, I think. It's just been something that's really been growing on me a lot. I mean, besides that, it is a really safe place in general. Look at from like a safety perspective, Madeira is great and really safe, even like as a solo female around here. I've never experienced any moment where I would feel unsafe. It is also in the EU, which for somebody with a German passport is a great benefit, because I have to say I'm so thankful like how sort of straightforward I don't want to say super straightforward, but sort of straightforward the process is to like move within the EU. We are really like blessed to have that flexibility within here, to just be moving to a different country. There's just a lot of benefits with it being in the EU. It's not super different from Germany, but culturally, I have to say, I still appreciate that Madeira is a totally different vibe. It's an island. It's a bit further away from everything else. So I appreciate that I can still get like the Madeira lifestyle while being in the EU. So yeah, that just all sounded so great to me. But with the lifestyle that I've had the last couple of years, I've been just bouncing around. So it feels strange to me to commit to a new place now, to say like, oh yeah, I'm moving here, fear of commitment, oh my god. Who would have thought? So yeah, there's always a bit of the question in the back of my mind. Sometimes it's coming more to the front of my mind of like, what if there's another place out there? Like, because at the beginning of last year, I was already thinking of like, do I want to move somewhere else? And at that point, I had like Australia, Dubai, and whatnot on my mind, which Dubai is not it. That was off the list pretty soon. But Australia, I think, would have been really fun. But that's also like really far and would be a lot of a new effort to get there. I've also come to realize for myself, though, that, there probably is no perfect place for me, for anybody. There's no such thing as like the perfect place, because even at the most perfect place, you can still be unhappy. It all depends on what you make out of it. Like the happiness comes from the life that you build at a place. Of course, certain places lay a certain foundation. So I think that Madeira is a much better foundation for me personally than Germany would have been, because again, sun, lifestyle, community, it's all a great fit here. So now the rest is really just up to me for what I make out of it, for the opportunities that I take, for the steps that I do moving forward. Yeah, I think there's no such thing as perfection, but you can make it perfect yourself if you want. So I will be working on that once I've like settled here, because like I said, the move is still very fresh, and it also came very sudden. It's not like I had been planning this for months, honestly, which I probably should have. Like I said, I was supposed to start self-employment in Germany, and the first time I visited Madeira was in February, and then I had been coming back and back over the course of the year, and I was here over Christmas and New Year's, and during that time, I was just like networking a lot within the community, and great opportunities came up. So I was like, oh, I really want to stick around for that. I should stick around for it because it's exactly what I've been looking for. So then 2 days before I had my flight back to Germany, I was like, maybe while I'm in Germany, I should take a look at the whole residency stuff. So I took the flight back to Germany. I went to the town hall the day after I landed. I talked to them about how can I change my residency, because I might have an opportunity there. Maybe I need to become a tax resident in Portugal. What do I do? they told me a little bit about it, and then they scratched out Germany in my passport and put Portugal on it. That's basically the gist of it. And then the next week I flew back to Madeira and I went to the offices here, which was a lot more difficult because I still don't speak Portuguese. But they sent me to a couple different places, and then I got the certificate eventually also end of last week. And now I'm officially registered here. So it's quite a big change in quite a short amount of time, I have to say. It's still a bit overwhelming at times, and there's still like a lot of moments of doubts. For example, when I realized, oh, I should have prepared more for this. Like, for example, I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was talking about the time when he moved to Portugal. He didn't know that capital gains are taxed very high here in Portugal, I guess, which first of all, I'm not even sure what exactly falls under capital gains, but I guess like investments, crypto, and things like that, from what I found out. And he's just telling me about how he now has to deal with his accountant and whatnot. And I'm just standing there thinking, like, damn, I did not think about that. I mean, it's not like I have huge investments, but I was like, damn, now I'm going to have to pay a couple cents more in taxes on my cryptocurrency, maybe. So that's just one of the things that I forgot to consider. And moments like that just kind of made me realize how big of a deal it actually is, I guess, to change your residency, because so many things in my life, so many aspects of my life are still tied to Germany. And that's a lot that I'm giving up for that connection. And I'm, like I said, I'm still catching up on all the paperwork and all the changes that you have to do, because it's more than just going to the town hall and lodger, whatever it's called here, to change your residence. Then you have to think about your insurances, for example, like health insurance, of course, which reminds me I also need to take care of that. I'm not quite sure if I am insured at the moment. But I will check on that. And also, if anybody listening knows about how the health insurance system works in Portugal, you can reach out to me. I would appreciate that. Anyways, I will find that out. Then you have to have the personal liability insurance, which I have taken care of. I have like personal accident insurance. Then I bought a car. I had to get car insurance, which turned out to be quite difficult to do without a Portuguese bank account and phone number, actually. But thankfully, the guy at the office helped me out with that as well. Speaking of bank accounts, another thing that you need to change your address, get a new bank account in Portugal, probably. I still have to do that. Like I said, I didn't realize like how many bank accounts I have, actually. I don't even know why. But then you also have like the PayPal, the Revolut, like everything is tied to my German address. And, you know, the list goes on and on and on. So it's a lot. It's a lot of paperwork, and that's very annoying. And yeah, it also made me realize, like, damn, it's really a big deal of, you know, where you have your registered address. And like, now that I thought about it, I'm like, wow, yeah, where are you from is like such a defining question. It's like the first thing that you ask when you meet somebody. Oh, what's your name? Oh, where are you from? What do you do? And I never really thought about that because, I mean, yeah, I'm from Germany, but now I live in Portugal. So it's kind of like changes my identity a little bit, and I'm still adjusting to that. But I also think I keep telling myself, I think doubt is normal, and, you know, use it to reflect and adapt and learn from it for the future, but shouldn't let like that doubt stop you from moving forward. Obviously, like I said, I think when you have big life changes like this, do a little bit of research and prepare for it. Do probably more research and prepare for it better than I did. But I think you can never be 100% prepared. There's always something that you're gonna forget, probably, at least if you're a normal person like me. So at one point, you just gotta jump. So that's what I did. I jumped. Of course, I'm really excited about this new chapter here in Portugal, but of course, I also value my connection to Germany. And moving here doesn't mean that I'm gonna lose that. Like, I still fly home and visit friends. People also love to come and visit me here, which is great. I love hosting. So, if anybody wants to come visit in sunny Madeira, please feel free. You're always welcome. So, yeah, I'm excited about this chapter here, what it brings to now be an expert, a German living in Portugal. I'm not losing my German identity, I'm just expanding it with a nice Portuguese Madeiran touch, which I think sounds really exciting. If worst comes to worst, I can always go back to Germany, but let's hope that that never has to happen, because I'm very excited about all the opportunities that I have here on Madeira. I think this is a much better place for me. I know this is a much better place for me than Germany because, like I said, for one, the community is so amazing and it's so tight knit. And the good thing about Madeira is that it is quite small. Here in Funchal, you have a bit of a city vibe, but it's still like small city vibes. And like even now, I'm at the point where when I go into the city, chances are pretty high that like at one point or another I'll bump into at least one person that I know. So it's a very tight-knit community, a very supportive community. Like also I realized last week I was at a tech meetup and there was a guy presenting about sales, I think. Yeah, sales. At the end of his presentation, he had all his contacts here, and I saw that he has a podcast. So naturally, I went up and talked to him afterwards. And I was like, hey, I heard you have a podcast. I also do a podcast. And he said, oh, what's your podcast? And then he's like, oh, Poncha Talk. Yes, people have been telling me about it, that I should go talk to you. And I'm like, oh, wow. Word about my podcast is spreading on this little island so fast. That made me so excited. And just so excited for me to see that this is a great place to start something fresh because the community and the support is there. It's so good to build on it. So I can leave my IT consultant past behind and a little bit focus more on, the things that I want to do here now, like the podcasting and whatnot. So I'm really excited to have this fresh start with a kind of new identity here in Madeira as well, and that opportunity. And of course, to just do that with this new healthy lifestyle that I've been building here on Madeira, the sunshine, the outdoor activities, and it's just like I found a very balanced routine for myself that has really like changed the quality of my life so much. Like when I compare myself now to just a year ago, it's a huge difference, I have to say. I feel much more healthy. I'm much more like centered and grounded, I think. Definitely less stressed, less migraines, less headaches, overall just in a better condition. And so I think it's really important to prioritize like the things that really bring you quality of life and prioritize on what makes you feel fulfilled and brings you joy and happiness. That's what I'm trying to do here on Madeira, and this is why I know that this change was the right move, even if some of the like tax and legal things were not done in the best way. I think overall, for me personally, this was the right move. It is the right move, and I'm excited for it. So stay tuned for how my life on Madeira is going to go. So thank you very much for listening to today's episode. Again, this is a very personal topic to myself that I'm very excited about, even though I have some doubts. Like I said, big changes like that, uprooting your life to like somewhere completely different can be chaotic. And I think it's normal to have doubt. I'm just going to tell myself it's normal to have doubts at time. Again, I think it's just important to focus on the opportunities and to focus on what brings you joy in life, and then just go after that rather than always looking for perfection. Also, just take the jump, because perfection is just like, it's an ideal. It probably doesn't exist, but you can start with a good foundation and then make your life perfect if you just follow a path of happiness and joy. Oh my God, that is so poetic. Or cheesy. I think cheesy is the word. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope maybe some of you found it useful or you can relate. If you have also any advice, if you've gone through something similar, if you have any advice for me, if you have any advice for listeners, please always feel free to share it in the comments below. And I will see you again next week for another guest episode, actually with one of my very first digital nomad friends that I'm very excited about this episode as well. So don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, follow on social media at Poncha Talk, like the episode or leave me any comments. And I will see you again next week. Thank you. Bye.